Hello everyone, and welcome to English Story Radio channel. Today, I'm excited to share an English story with you. If you enjoy this story and want to see more like it, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you'll be the first to know when I upload new content. Without further ado, let's get started. Sarah, Tom, Emily, and Jack were all college students who had just finished a long semester of classes. They had all worked incredibly hard, studying for exams, writing papers, and completing assignments. They were exhausted and stressed, and they knew that they needed a break. So, they decided to take a cruise to the island of Ibiza. It was a place that they had all dreamed of visiting, with its crystal clear waters, white sandy beaches, and vibrant nightlife. They were excited to finally be able to experience it for themselves. As they boarded the ship, they couldn't help but marvel at its size and beauty. They were greeted by the friendly staff, who showed them to their cabins. The cabins were spacious and comfortable, with large windows that offered stunning views of the ocean. They quickly unpacked their bags and decided to explore the ship. The ship was massive, with numerous activities and amenities to keep the passengers entertained. There was a rock climbing wall, a mini golf course, a swimming pool, a spa, and multiple restaurants and bars. Sarah, Tom, Emily, and Jack couldn't believe how much there was to do. They spent the first day of the cruise exploring the ship and getting to know their fellow passengers. They were delighted to meet people from all over the world, and they enjoyed learning about different cultures and traditions. That night, they decided to check out the ship's nightlife. They danced the night away, enjoying the music and the company of their new friends. As the night wore on, they found themselves at the bar, chatting with the bartender, Juan. Juan was from Ibiza, and he told them stories about his homeland. He described the beautiful beaches, the stunning cliffs, and the charming villages. He also talked about the island's vibrant nightlife, with its famous clubs and parties. The friends were captivated by Juan's tales, and they knew that they needed to experience it for themselves. The next day, they booked a tour of the island. They were picked up by a friendly tour guide, who showed them the best sights and sounds of the island. They visited gorgeous beaches, explored quaint villages, and hiked along scenic cliffs. They also got to try some of the local cuisine, which they all agreed was delicious. As the days went by, the friends grew closer and closer. They spent their evenings watching the sunset from the ship's deck, sipping cocktails and sharing stories. They talked about their hopes and dreams, and they realized that they had a lot in common. They laughed, danced, and made memories that they knew they would never forget. But as the trip neared its end, they started to feel a sense of sadness. They didn't want it to be over. They had formed a bond that they knew would last a lifetime. They realized that they had found something special, something that they couldn't find anywhere else. On the last night of the cruise, they decided to have a farewell party. They invited Juan to join them, and he brought some of his friends from Ibiza. They danced and laughed until the early hours of the morning. They drank champagne, ate delicious food, and talked about their favorite moments from the trip. The next day, as they disembarked the ship, the friends promised to stay in touch. They hugged each other tightly, knowing that they had experienced something extraordinary. They had gone on an adventure, and they had done it together. They had formed a bond that would last a lifetime. As they said their goodbyes and went their separate ways, they couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia for the amazing time they had shared. They exchanged contact information and promised to keep in touch. Sarah, Tom, Emily, and Jack also promised to plan another adventure together soon. After they returned home, they continued to talk and reminisce about their trip to Ibiza. They shared photos and memories, and they even made plans to visit Ibiza again together in the future. As they went back to their studies and daily routines, they felt a renewed sense of energy and purpose. They knew that they could tackle anything as long as they had each other. They had formed a special bond during their Ibiza adventure that had helped them through the stress and challenges of college. Years later, as they graduated from college and went their separate ways, they never forgot about the amazing trip that had brought them together. They stayed in touch, visited each other, and continued to plan new adventures together. They knew that they would always be bonded by the memories of their Ibiza adventure, and the friendship that it had helped to create. In the end, they all agreed that the Ibiza adventure had been one of the best experiences of their lives. They had traveled to a beautiful island, made new friends, and formed lifelong bonds. They had experienced new cultures, tried new foods, and danced until the early hours of the morning. And, most importantly, they had done it all together. As they looked back on their trip, they couldn't help but smile. They had learned that sometimes the best adventures are the ones that are shared with friends. They had learned that life is about creating memories, and that the memories they had created during their Ibiza adventure would last a lifetime. And, in the end, they all agreed that the trip had been worth every penny and every moment of planning. They had gone on the Ibiza adventure, and they had done it together, and that was all that mattered.